who's gonna be that top player. So go ahead and stay tuned. We're gonna dive into our key players here. Welcome to DFS Insights, where the game behind the game comes to life. I am David Geislinger, and alongside me is David Grant Jr., my cousin and co-strategist. The teams up on the block are the Los Angeles Lakers at the Denver Nuggets.
With your lineup success as our top priority, this is where David and I will deep dive into our top three players that we like for this matchup as well as for this series. We will break down the strategy behind our picks and share insights to enhance each and every one of your lineups. And make sure not to miss out on the finale where we give out two absolutely free lineups.
Yeah, nice. Well, congratulations. We'll start it off. You taken, I believe it was fourth place. Technically, I guess third point wise in the Kings Pelicans lineup. So that's another DFS Insights victory there. But yeah,
I mean,
so
it's bittersweet. It's bittersweet. Our beloved Kings lost 6 straight games to the New
yeah,
Orleans Pelicans.
yeah. But I mean,
So
winning money is
it
nice
it,
too. So
it does help the loss not feel so hard. So
so getting back into it wouldn't be a DFS Insights week if we didn't cover the Lakers at least once. So here we are. Lakers ended up beating the Pelicans in the first round of the play-ins here to now have the privilege to take on Denver. Rematch of last year where they got swept. So, and the good thing is, I mean, we have so much information because these teams are basically the same exact teams from last year and this year, and I think even as you mentioned earlier, from even a year ago, before 2 years ago.
yeah.
So a lot of information to dive into. With that, who's gonna be that top player. So go ahead and stay tuned. We're gonna dive into our key players here, and we'll let you know the best way to go about constructing a lineup. So with that, going in, just starting off with the main stats here. These are based on the last 5 games of the season. Here, looks like Denver is coming in at the favorite. They are -7 point favorite. Over under is about 224.5, so it should be a decently scoring game. Denver's offensive rating is slightly above league average at 117.8, where the Lakers are only coming in at about a 115.4. League average was roughly about a 116, so they're pretty similar. Denver does have a significant defensive rating compared to the Lakers at 112.3, where the Lakers are at a 114.8. However, the Lakers do come in at one of the higher paces in the league at a 101.38 to the Denver's 97.43. However, that is better news for Denver, as they're going to get the positive pace differential. So they already they might be slow paced and high scoring, so they're even going to have even more opportunities here. And yeah, it wouldn't be a Lakers game if we didn't have good old Anthony Davis and LeBron James on the game time decision injury list. They are probable. They are playing unless something significant happens, in the next, time it takes from now. We did this recording about 12 hours until they play. Yeah, they're playing. So
yeah.
unfortunately, do not have any, the optimal lineups for previous games. But going over just the previous game here, looking like the Denver did take it at LA, so 124 to 114. Jokic, Murray, Porter, top 3 fantasy producers there on Denver, and James Davis and Reeves, the top 3 fantasy producers there in LA. And that's actually very similar, construction wise, to the the other games they played this series, it's basically the same people, a little bit different order, but it's mainly Jokic, Murray, Porter, and I think Gordon's thrown in there one time, but it's in the last 3 games. It is basically James, Davis, and Reeves as their top 3 in the last the matchups there. So looking like those could be potential weak points in the Denver's armor there. So getting into it, do you have anything to add before we get over to your key players here?
Not really. I guess it'll, they're going to be playing at altitude. I don't know how long LA, actually, I guess LA hasn't been there that long since they just won the other night. But, I could see that being a small factor in the game just for game one while they get acclimated. Because, I mean, I've seen that make a difference. So just a game one, kind of something to think about. So, yeah, let's hop on over into.
Nice. Yeah, but before we do get into it, yeah, please make sure you're hitting that like button, that subscribe button, notification bells. Drop down. We would like to see in the comments, your guys' 3 key players. We would like to see, how you guys are viewing this matchup prior to hearing, what we have and seeing if maybe potentially we can change your mind, with the research that we have done. So. With that, we'll go ahead and who do you got as your first pick coming in here?
Yeah, so my first pick coming in here is going to be Mr. Jamal Murray from the Denver Nuggets. And, Jamal Murray is, man, this dude has won me a bunch of money. The Lakers defense against like the 3-point shot specifically, they're in the bottom third of the league. Jamal can definitely he does a little bit of everything, to be honest. He's had March 2nd's matchup. He had 49 fantasy points. When they played February 8th, he had 57 fantasy points, and then he did have back in October 34 fantasy points. But I still think we should look into the season before, because again, both of these teams are very, very similar. I mean, Denver straight up is the same team. And then LA has made a few changes here and there. But nonetheless, he's going Jamal Murray at 51 fantasy points, 59, 66, 56, 51. So I know he is coming off of an injury. So that is something to, keep your eye on. I did notice they kind of limited his minutes as he came back, but I think as the playoffs start, I think his minutes are going to be boosted up, and it's going to be game time. And 13,000, and with that upside, I'll be having him at MVP. He'll be very low owned at MVP, and he could definitely take that spot. I'll have a lot in star and some exposure at pro. So that's my first pick, and kind of what my thoughts are. What are your thoughts on that? And who you got here for your first pick?
Yeah, no, I like Jamal Murray, especially at that MVP. 13K is a steal for his floor being as high as it is, and then his ceiling is up there with Davis and Jokic and LeBron. So being I think the cheapest one out of those 4, is awesome, and by a significant amount. So if you're doing lineup construction, having him there and potentially fading, Jokic or Davis or something, that salary savings could be the difference maker there. I like Jamal Murray. The last 5 games, I think they did limit his minutes. He's averaging only about 25.7. If you look back at his stats prior to the injury, he's basically about mid-30s. So that's what I'm expecting. Denver has basically the same rotation. They play the same 8 guys, just typically the same as a lot of teams coming into the playoffs. You play 8 guys unless it's not working. So this first game is going to be basically I was going to say learning the opponent. However, like you said, these teams just played each other last year, basically the similar matchup. Denver wise, 100%. Lakers, their starting lineup has changed a little bit. However, for the most part, the players are there, with the exception of potentially one or two. Lakers added. So, Jamal Murray's also, his usage is the highest on the team at a 32.9 in those last five games. So, minutes and usage, I still see being there. And Lakers, like you said, they don't do a great job at defending the point guard or at the end at the 3-point shot too. So, yeah, the upside for him, and especially at that salary, makes him a great pick.
Yeah, awesome. Right on. Well, who you got here for your first pick?
I'm going to go with, I know we like to say bigs against Lakers. However, I'm going to go, it doesn't necessarily apply, but I do like this potential matchup. So I'm actually going to go with Mr. Anthony Davis. Coming in here. I do like him. The matchup here, it's basically the third best matchup on the slate. I like him salary-wise at 15.5. I do like him at the MVP star. Pro would be, star would already be enough of a significant drop in ownership, which would be a good play for him. Dropping him down to pro would be very significant, but I don't think I'm not making as many lineups to probably do that. So MVP star for Anthony Davis for sure. Minutes last 5 games. Keeping in mind this is the season and not the play-ins. 30.9 minutes. Usage 26.6. He's averaging 50 fantasy points, and he's projected roughly about 52 and a half here for this matchup. I do like, Jokic as well. Great center, but I think Davis, he has a more physical presence down there. And Jokic is definitely, I think, a better offensive-minded player than a defensive-minded player. As you can see, the Denver is giving up roughly about 42.04 fantasy points per game to opposing centers. They just gave up 30.7 to Jemison, 57.9 to Wembe, 42.5 to Gobert, 39.2 to Yerksen, and then they gave up 81 again to Wembe. So, the potential for Davis to have a killer night too is up there as well, along with Jamal Murray. But with that price tag at 15.5, I need him to have that 45 plus game at least.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah. 100%. Anthony Davis is an amazing pick. That's actually one of my top 3 plays as well. I did notice, during roster construction, that extra $500 that he is down from Jokic actually helps make a pretty big difference with what you could do with your other spots, filling those in with better players. I see both of them have that 75-point fantasy, 80 fantasy point upside type of night. Is it more likely to go to Joker? Probably, but if the Lakers are going to be in this game, Anthony Davis is going to have to step up and have some big games, and I see him doing that. As you mentioned, I like him a lot in the MVP spot. I think he'll be much less owned than Jokic there, which is another way to also, play the ownership game and get the ownership lower so you're not tying with a bunch of people. So I'll have a lot of exposure to him between MVP and star. Most likely not in the pro. I'm doing probably 20 lineups. I might put him in the pro in one. Other than that, I'm not trying to get too cute. He's MVP and pro for me. So.
Yeah, no, exactly. Exactly. That's how I see it too. Basically, if you're going Davis, I like Davis too, but that it's a lot to do also with the ownership. Jokic is going to be super high owned in MVP there. So just being able to, if you do a lineup that had Jokic and Davis, which makes it pretty hard to do lineup construction, but just putting Davis in MVP and Jokic in star, that sets you apart, especially if it pans out and plays how it is. So Nice. That's your second. So I'll go to my second here. Looking at it, Mr. Aaron Gordon. I do like him coming in. Last 5 games, he's sitting, 27.7 minutes. His usage is a little lower than I like it, 13.9. But however, he is averaging 33.9 fantasy points, and he's projected in this matchup about 31.5. At that 10-5 mark, I think it also is also similar to Davis and Jokic have separating 500 with Aaron Gordon and Michael Porter. They're both similar players, similar upside, similar potential. It's just you're saving that 500 with Gordon, and Porter's 11K. I do like him star pro and the utility spot, and that's obviously going to be based on lineup construction wise, but I do like him all the way up to star. Pro will probably be where I put him majority, but he has the upside at star, so I could put him there, and potentially if I do 10 lineups, I might have him once up in the star, but mainly in the pro spot. And I see him actually not as much owned in the utility, just at simply being at 10-5. I think he'll be very heavily owned in the pro, so that's what I got for my second pick. Oh, well, actually going into it, he has the second best matchup as well on the slate coming in against the Lakers. The Lakers are giving up about 46.9, about 47 fantasy points to the opposing position. So they just gave up 63.7 to Zion. That's and Zion left early.
Yeah.
Then before that they played back to back. So Zion had 35.6, 45.6 to La Riviera, 36 to Draymond Green, and 53 to Naz Reid. So they do give up quite a bit of points to power forwards. We do say bigs against the Lakers. Obviously, Jokic will have his turn too, but I think Gordon's that physical presence down there, where Jokic is more the finesse. So yeah, look to have Gordon to have a pretty good matchup down there.
Nice. Yeah, I like you mentioned, it's a great pick. I'll be flipping and forth between him and Porter, because it's like you just don't know which one of them is going to go off, but one of them is definitely going to go off. So I'll be making enough lineups where I will make a lineup that has Gordon, and I'll probably want that same lineup. And if I can swap him out, now I know Porter is 500 more, but I'll try to make the adjustment, or put in Michael Porter where Aaron Gordon is, because just like you mentioned, it's kind of like the AD Jokic. It's close enough where it's one of those things you want to make an iteration of your lineup, and just change out one small thing like that. So yeah, love the pick. That does count as a big versus the Lakers. Power forwards and centers, to me is you're big. You're a big dude. So right on. Do I go here to start us off?
We'll go ahead. Yeah, you can start your third and last pick here. But before we get to our last pick, again, make sure you hit that like, subscribe, put down your comments on, what do you think of our picks so far, and what would you do? What why don't you like it, or why do you like it? We like to get some more engagement here, and also if you have players that you would like more information on, we would be more than happy to you put a person up in the comments. We'd be more than happy to give you our take on how we see that person, because we obviously do research on the full slate, not just the 3 people.
So, yeah, my apologies, guys. I just was trying to show you guys the winnings from tonight, but it'll be in a thumbnail that's sent. So, yeah, you just see me having fun. Just showing you guys, man. Just just by joining the community, like, subscribe, and we're here to help you win. I want to see everyone else win as much as I want to win. Well, just about. So my last pick here is going to be Mr. Austin Reeves from the Los Angeles Lakers. He's coming in at 11,500 for his salary. The last two times he's faced Denver, he's averaging close to 40 fantasy points in those games. Um, you know, I have more faith in him than I do D'Angelo Russell. All the pressure and a lot of other things I'm hearing, it's kind of fallen on D'Angelo Russell's shoulders. Try to say that 5 times fast. And he's, at 1,200. I'm or 12,000. I'm trying to save 500 here, 500 there, everywhere I can. So for 500 less, you can get Austin Reeves. He is projected, I believe, for 30 fantasy points. I could still see him hitting, that 38 to 42 mark. He's hit his high, you know, yeah. I mean, I'm hoping for that, late 30s. So I'll be having him at mainly the pro spot and utility. I can't really see putting him at star or MVP, obviously. So it's really going to be the pro spot for me. I will put him in some utility, I'm sure, as well to try to mix it up. But other than that, yeah, that's my final play. What are your thoughts on Austin Reeves and who you got here to send us off with?
Yeah, I like Austin Reeves. As you mentioned, D'Angelo Russell. I like D'Angelo Russell, but I like him more when LeBron's not playing. He seems to have those just amazing games, and they
Yeah.
typically fall obviously with LeBron, and he gets quite a bit more usage in that aspect. But yeah, no, Austin Reeves is looking pretty good. Looks like the last 5 games, averaging about what 30 at 31.4 minutes. Usage is about a 19.4. So he's going to be involved, but he needs to get hot shooting the ball, getting it going, and just hopefully he can be the one catching fire. Denver is pretty decent, I think, against the shooting guard position. I know he's actually been in the top 3 fantasy scorers in the previous matchups. So the potential for him also to be, in that pro spot is there. So, but Denver does look pretty decent, at least on paper, against the shooting guard position. So, hopefully, he can get in. I'm a little nervous too. I know Gabe Vincent is more of a point guard and playing a backup role there, but I'm wondering how all those minutes with Gabe Vincent coming back and then Dimwitty, how is this basically going to be factored into minute wise? So hopefully he catches fire, and then he gets obviously more playing time. So, but yeah, no, I like it. Definitely be having him for sure, and I think like you mentioned, I do like him in this matchup over Russell. So.
Yeah.
Going into my final play here, I'm going to go with Mr. Cadwell Pope, KCP. Yeah,
I like
coming
it.
in at the 9,500 mark. So I do like him at that price range, especially in the pro and the utility slot. He's getting decent minutes the last 5 games, 27.4. Usage 13.2, averaging about 20 fantasy points, 19.5. He's projected about 22.3. Coming in here, he actually does have one of the best matchups. Like I said, on paper, coming into the game against the Lakers, they are giving up about 36 fantasy points to his position. Just more recently giving up about 31 to Herbert Jones from the Pelicans, 36 to Klay Thompson, 41 to Anthony Edwards, and about 37 to Donovan Mitchell. So if he can, with his salary, if he can get me that mid-20s, low 30-point range, especially in the utility pro, maybe a little bit, like to see more of the mid-30 range. But he has the potential. Especially if he gets going early, he could see obviously more minutes and more usage if he's catching that ball and shooting that 3-pointer well. So I do like him. The salary also does help that out quite a bit.
Nice. Yeah. No, I'm 100% with you. That's why I gave you the nice little golf clap when I heard that, because I didn't have him in my top 3 today, for tonight's or tomorrow's. He will be, I'm sure, throughout this matchup in mine. But yeah, the 9,500, he's basically a plug and play for me. Even if he is chalky, which he might be, that's fine. That's chalk I'm willing to eat. Um, Los Angeles Lakers are giving up 30 fantasy points to shooting guard starters. They're giving up about 4 assists a game to shooting guard starters. They're giving up, about 6 field goals a game. And I mean, Pope could easily play 39 minutes. Like he's a 39, 42-minute type of guy. So I could definitely see that. And we know minutes lead into fantasy points. So love the pick.
Nice. All right. Now, well, that's our key players here. So welcome if you are just joining us to DFS Insights. We just broke down our key players of this matchup before getting over here to the lineups. So if you did just join and you see the lineups and you're like, what the heck are these guys thinking about? Go ahead, hit that rewind button. Watch our key player breakdowns, and you can clearly see why we picked what we did. And also, if you have any questions, put it down in the comments below. Like, what do you think about our lineups? And please also subscribe, notification bell. It does help out the channel quite a bit. So enough of me talking. Let's get over here to the lineups. So yeah, it looks like two, some similar players, some different. Looks like pretty good here. I can share here my lineup. So yeah, I'm looking forward to this matchup. This is game one. We're pretty familiar with the Lakers and the Nuggets, so hopefully it goes the full 7-game series, so we can get 7 games worth of out of it. But keep it coming. Like we do cover, it seems like we're going to be covering quite a bit of the Western Conference games, as they are typically the later matchups and are going to fall more into that 10K to first, 20K to first once that starts coming out. As you can see, at least at Fanduel's, all the other matchups that are happening Saturday are 2K, 3K to first. So it's I'll be keeping track of totals and things of that nature for those. But as far as doing future videos, we're going to be focused mainly on winning the money for everybody. So stay tuned. Keep in mind, with that, I'll leave it on that. Good luck. David, take it away.
Yep. Hey, good luck to everybody out there. We might I might text David over a little screenshot just show you guys the winnings from this. We did a podcast for the Kings Pelicans, so had some of you guys watched and had any questions or anything on there, we could have talked about it, and you too can also win some of this big money. So we're here to help. That's what we want to do. So yeah, please subscribe. And again, anything in the comments you guys want to talk about, we're here to answer any of your questions. This should be it's going to be a fun series to watch. I don't think it's going to go 7. I think I got Denver in 6, and that's being pretty generous. I wouldn't Denver in 5 probably, but I'm counting on AD and LeBron to do something. So other than that, hey, good luck to everyone out there, and we'll see you on the next one. Good luck.